My question I have is, does growth hormone give you a distended gut? Now, I get this question all the time, people talking about it, and my honest opinion is everybody knows the answer, everybody knows the truth, but obviously the people that are taking GH, they don't want to admit deep down inside what's really going on. I can tell you fact, without a doubt, growth hormone, taking growth hormone does make every single tissue in the body grow, including your heart, including your intestines, including your brain. Every single tissue in the body grows. Depending on, how many receptors you have and which area is gonna determine how much growth you're gonna get in which area. Now, what happens is the intestines in the stomach grow. And as the intestines grow, the stomach runs out of room. There's no more room for the intestines. So the weakest link is the belly button. So the intestines will bust through the belly button because they're growing too big to fit in the stomach wall. And as you can look at just about every professional bodybuilder out there, eventually we all get herniated belly buttons. And this is caused from the growth hormone, the intestines growing. We will get the herniated belly button fixed, sewn up, and more than likely it will bust through again if we continue taking growth hormone and continuing having our intestines grow. And eventually what happens is the abs will split apart. The abs will literally split. So you get a hole in the belly button, it busts through, you sew it up. You keep taking growth, the intestines keep growing. Eventually the abs will split apart and start to separate. And as you can see, you can look at certain bodybuilders and you will see a 2 to 3 inch gap between their abs. Well, what that is that's their abdominals ripping apart because their intestines are getting too large. And I'm not knocking anything, I'm just educating because I want people to be aware of what they're doing. And I found this out the hard way. I noticed my stomach was slowly growing. This was about 20 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. And, I got a herniated belly button. Went to the doctor, got it fixed, got it sewn up. And I noticed when I got back on the growth hormone, I would get pains down in that area. My intestines were pushing up against my stomach wall. And I realized that, my intestines were growing. And did I want to continue to have my waist get thicker? Does that make any fucking logical sense when it comes to bodybuilding? Makes no fucking sense at all. Bodybuilding is about having the smallest waist possible. If your waist gets thick and you get to the point where you have a gut, you have completely went against every fucking reason to be a bodybuilder. There's guys that take their shirt off and they look awful because they have a huge distended gut that sticks out further than their chest. Again, I'm not talking shit. I'm educating the younger generation so they understand what happens, because when this happens, a lot of times we're not educated and we don't understand, and we just start taking drugs at random to achieve our goals and be the best bodybuilder we can, and before we know it, we fucked ourselves up. So I just want to put this out there to help people so people don't fuck themselves up. At least be aware of what you're doing, and be aware that if you are taking large amounts of growth hormone, you are going to make your stomach grow and make your waist get thicker. And if that's the look you're after, then fucking go for it, have a ball. Now me, I have not taken growth hormone in over 12 years. And the reason being is because I don't want my waist to get thicker. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm obsessed with having the smallest waist possible. And, bodybuilding to me is in a sad state because it's not like it was in the 70s and 80s, And the bodies back then were phenomenal, and there was no such thing as a distended stomach. It didn't exist. There was no bodybuilder in the 70s and 80s that had that kind of a problem. It just wasn't there, And a lot of people are gonna argue with me and say, no, it's not growth hormone, it's insulin. Well, yeah, it's insulin too, but it is growth hormone. So don't fool yourself. Just be aware of what's going on. And again, I'm just trying to help and trying to educate. Take care. Side effects that I've gotten from using GH. I've talked a little bit about this in the past, but people have wanted me to get a little more specific, so I'm going to get a little more specific. Basically, all the side effects I've gotten from using growth hormone. I use it for about 10 years straight, you know, straight. When I say straight, straight. And I have to say that, you know, my shoe size, I used to wear a size 12, and now I wear a size 15. My head, I used to wear a size 7 3/8, you know, fitted cap. Now I wear, you know, 7 3/4, maybe 7 5/8 I can, you know, get into. My hands, my fingers have grown, my hands have grown, my wrists have grown. My wrists have probably grown, I would say 3/4 of an inch. My fist has probably grown a half inch in width. You know, it basically makes every tissue in the body grow. Now, in saying that, I have to say, has my heart grown? Probably. Has my brain grown? Probably. Has my intestines grown? Yes, I know my intestines have grown because my stomach has gotten thicker over the years, you know, which is a side effect that I'm most bothered by, and that's what made me stop doing GH, was because of the stomach growth. And, you know, as a bodybuilder, we don't think about our heart growing and, you know, how we're gonna have a heart attack at the age 50 because but, you know, we think about the things like, oh, my hair's falling out. Oh no, what am I gonna do? You know, but as we get older, we start to realize these things, and now I'm a lot more concerned with, you know, the organs growing and what kind of, you know, what that's gonna affect me, how it's gonna affect me in the future. So luckily I stopped growth because of the stomach growth and, you know, so on and so forth. Now the hand growth, foot growth, the head growth, hey, shit, I wasn't bothered. I was getting bigger. I wanted to be bigger everywhere possible, except in the stomach. So anyway, those are the side effects I've occurred while using growth hormone. And you know, it's a choice people make. It's your choice. It's up to you what you want to do. But I just want people to be educated and know what they're getting themselves into, because when I chose to do it, I had no idea what I was getting into. So hopefully this helps. Hey, what's up everyone? Today I'm going to talk about keeping that waist tight. Now, people ask me this question all the time, and hey, I want to thank you. Thank you very much for thinking I have a tight, small waist. That's been my mission for the last 10 years, is to get my waist down back where it genetically should be. You know, back in my bodybuilding days, I was doing the growth. You know, I messed around with the insulin. You know, I was doing the IGF-1. I was doing whatever the fuck it took to be the biggest motherfucker on this earth. And in the meantime, I ended up with a thicker waistline, which, you know, I have to say has really, really bothered me, because to me it defeats the whole purpose of bodybuilding. There's no point in putting on muscle if your waist is going to grow along with it. That makes no sense. You know, having that tight waist and that V taper to me is, you know, is everything. So anyway, here's what I got to say. Vacuums, to me, that's the #1 exercise you can do. Basically, a vacuum is sucking your stomach up under your rib cage and holding it and squeezing as hard as you can. And you're gonna feel pain. It's gonna hurt. Then you know you're doing it correctly. If you don't feel any pain, you're not doing it right. Turn sideways, look at yourself in the mirror, and I guarantee you, doing that 3 to 4 times a day, do 3 or 4 sets, hold it for 30 seconds, rest 30 seconds, you're gonna see results within a couple weeks. You're gonna see your waist tighten up. Now, I'm just saying, this exercise does miracles. This is one of the best exercises there is, to be honest with you, because it just gives such good results in such a short amount of time. So that is gold. So give it a try. I guarantee you're going to see results. But I'm dead inside. All I know is I keep